Now, Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu is celebrating his 90th birthday today. What a milestone it is. His role as human rights activism and the fight against apartheid is renowned globally. Now, to mark the day, the 11th annual Desmond Tutu International Peace Lecture will be held. It includes renowned speakers, including Graça Machel, the Dalai Lama, and former public protector Tulima Donsela. Senior reporter Ayesha Ismail joins us now from Cape Town, from the St. George's Cathedral. Ayesha, very good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Talk to us about the schedule there at the Cathedral and all preparations in place.
So it would appear as if the preparations are all in place. People are starting to gather inside the cathedral. The service, a celebration of the life and to honor Archbishop Desmond Tutu, will take place in about an hour with about 150 invited guests attending. And also, Tony, when I was thinking about how to aptly describe Archbishop Desmond Tutu, I was thinking of all kinds of adjectives, and every positive adjective that I could think of described Archbishop Desmond Tutu. But I'm now joined by somebody who spent decades with Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and that is Dr. Allan Boesak. Dr. Boesak, what role will you be playing at this service of celebration here at St. George's Cathedral to honor and celebrate the life of Archbishop Desmond Tutu?
Good morning. I have been given the singular honor of being asked by Mama Leah and the family to preach this morning. And so I will be speaking from Scripture, but I'll be speaking about our life together, about the Archbishop's life, especially in what he meant for us and still means for us on this wonderful, wonderful day of his 90th birthday.
Talk us through your decades of, the times that you spent with Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Now, we know about the South African Council of Churches, we know about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and of course the transition from apartheid to democracy.
Well, I got to know the Archbishop early on when he was still working for the World Council of Churches, but we really got to know one another and started working together when he became the General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches in 1978, I think it was, and I was then elected as a senior vice president of the council. Now, that was at the end of the 1970s. The churches had to respond to what was happening in the streets since 1976 and the revolution of the children that may have been suppressed from time to time but never really stopped. And then into the 1980s were those amazingly challenging years where the church found itself not just in the struggle but sometimes in the leadership of the struggle, leading the struggle. And the church could be there in that place historically where we've never been because, in part, of the leadership of somebody like Archbishop Desmond Tutu. He really made such a difference to the life and the witness of the church the moment he was given that position.
Now, the Archbishop also spent 10 years on the pulpit in this very cathedral that became a site of struggle.
Yes, the cathedral is a symbolic place. When you talk of the struggle, you talk of the cathedral. When you talk of the struggle, you talk of the cathedral and our spirituality of strength. I mean, this was a place where we came to pray before marches, where we came to pray after marches. This was a place that became a sanctuary for the young people and the students and the activists. I mean, this place was tear-gassed by the South African police, and we were here for the cleansing services. And so at every single phase of the struggle, we knew clearly then, as the people in the struggle, that this was a battle we would not win without our faith. Not just the Christian faith, but people of all faiths knew that. And that was the United Democratic Front, was to bring all people together. And Desmond Tutu was almost the personification of that spirituality of struggle. And I remember so many times we would come together to talk strategy. How would we do this? How would we do that? How would that march be planned? But before every single meeting and after every single meeting, we would first say, let us just pray. Let us call upon God to guide us in this. And I think That gave our struggle a character that was almost unique. It gave the struggle a resilience that our people could never do without. And all of that, when you look at Desmond Tutu, he embodies that for us still today. And will, I guess, forever. So as his name is remembered and recalled, and people rejoice about him and what he was. And the extraordinary man, the Archbishop, the man of prayer, the man of fortitude and struggle, but Archbishop Tutu, the joyful, humorous man. I mean, I remember him responding to serious apartheid arguments with something like, oh, how about you guys getting us a republic of flat noses? Because what does the size of my nose have to do with my intelligence or with my humanity? I mean, that kind of thing. And he always, of course, that was a world-famous thing, that world-famous Tutu giggle that only he could produce, and the moment he does it, everybody cracks up. It's so I mean, in so many ways, he had just become such a part of the lives of the people of South Africa. I don't think it is possible to think of South Africa, South Africa's people, South Africa's struggle, South Africa's future, South Africa's hope, without thinking of Desmond Tutu.
I mean, we know that he has the resilience of a trooper, and at the same time he has the innocence of a child. And, you know, when I think about him, I just wonder, because he's also not somebody known to be politically correct.
No, he is not politically correct, but that was because of his innocence, just because Desmond is what Desmond is. I mean, in a real sense, because he is so honest, because he has such integrity. For him, he can say things in a way that other people would say, oh, maybe, maybe not, maybe not. But he says it. And when he says it, you know, it's not meant to hurt, it's not meant to be painful, it is all meant to make you understand. And at the end of whatever he has said, it draws you closer.
And just lastly, do you think that Archbishop Desmond Tutu is happy with South Africa today?
No, I don't think so. We've talked about this many, many, many times, and I will mention this in my sermon today because I know he is incredibly sad about what has become of our country, what our leadership have made of it. He is intensely worried about the quality of leadership or the lack of leadership. He is worried about the future. That's one of the things that I told him when I saw him last. Is I am discovering that we have a new young generation coming up. They are eager to learn. They want to know about the past. They are genuinely concerned. They want to take the future into their hands and do not want to do it without connecting with us older folks, and they want to ask us. And so I told him, so don't worry. I believe firmly that we have a young crop of people coming up who are ready to do what the young people in his day were willing to do. And I think that gives him a lot of comfort, and that makes me happy.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that was Dr. Allan Boesak, who will be conducting the service in just a few minutes' time here at St. George's Cathedral to celebrate the 90th birthday of Archbishop Desmond Tutu.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Ayesha Ismail, reporting for us there in Cape Town. We'll keep you updated on goings on there at the St. George's Cathedral as the day goes on here on eNCA. Now, moving on.